Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's to everyone. And let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to be covering a video today by Think Tank. They recently put out a video that expresses shock that Vice would have men who do the same thing as other companies with male feminists, which is harass women. Now, is that surprising to me or you? No, because Vice is a bunch of titty ticklers, just like the rest of the male feminists out there. But before we dive into that video, if you like what I do here, guys, please subscribe. All my links are down below. I did happen to start a Patreon and would greatly appreciate any kind of support you can give me there. So let's just get right into it.
Welcome back to Think Tank. Jason Carter here and with Hannah Cranston. I always love saying that. It's great.
Do you like having the intro?
That's not funny.
It was funny, Mike. And it will be funny again, I swear to you. I'm telling you, we're close. It's going to be funny.
That's because Hannah usually talks over everyone, so I wouldn't be surprised if more of her co-hosts are shocked that she actually lets them speak too.
Yeah,
I'll give you the intro for all of our stories.
It's like this alternate universe. But no, we have something really serious to talk about. The monumental public reckoning when it comes to sexual assault and sexual misconduct in and out of work continues to occur, with Vice being added to the long list of offenders.
Yeah. Vice has been on this list for a while now, Hannah and co-host Guy. They've been accused, and people have been accusing them since October. And there have been writers and others who've been outed as titty ticklers.
Now, the investigation by the New York Times uncovered 4 settlements for alleged sexual harassment and defamation against the New York-based media company's employees, including its president, Andrew Crichton. The allegations include unwanted sexual advances, forced kissing, and groping from the former head of Vice News, and a retaliatory firing after a woman rejected a relationship with the Vice's president. Now, a settlement in 2016 was reached for $135,000 with Crichton. That's just one in a long list.
Vice is just like any other feminist publication that has male titty ticklers. It's not surprising.
Of settlements. Now, the Times spoke with 100 former and current Vice employees for the story, finding that in addition to the settlement cases, more than 24 other women in their 20s and 30s said they'd experienced or seen inappropriate sexual behavior at Vice, most disregarding confidentiality agreements to disclose their experiences.
That really sucks. But what about men who've been harassed in jobs? You seem to forget them and you don't even bring them up.
So what that means is that these people are so serious about coming forward, regardless of any kind of legal ramifications that may come after for violating their NDAs. This was really eye-opening for me, Hannah, because I love Vice. Vice is probably one of the my most watched online media, besides TYT. Media sources, and to hear this was just like, wow. But I mean, were you shocked?
How? I don't understand how you can be shocked. Either you just haven't been paying attention, or you're just not wanting to see it. But Vice has had people in the news for harassment allegations since October. Multiple people from Vice and that have written for Vice multiple occasions have been outed as titty ticklers. You're only shocked because you thought the male feminists at Vice were above it, when the male feminists allies out there tend to be the worst ones of them all. So don't act like you're shocked because of anything else. It's just because you didn't want your best and favorite publication to come out and be found that they're just as bad as anyone else, if not worse.
No, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked by any of these stories. I think that for all of our most beloved people, for all of our most beloved companies, for whatever side of the political party lines that we're on, we are going to see this over and over again. And I'm happy that we are. I'm happy that it's coming out now, right?
Are you though? Just because it comes out doesn't mean it's true. Trust but verify. Don't just assume and just believe. Trust but verify.
Like we all know, especially as women, we know that this happens everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you create amazing content, if you are the best news anchor in the world. It doesn't matter who you are. This is happening in every sector. This is happening in most companies.
Charlie. Wrong, sir. Wrong.
Yes, you're seeing more and more harassment these days, but when anything from a simple pat on the shoulder to a hug, a consensual hug, can be claimed to be harassment, yeah, I could see why you're seeing more and more harassment cases every day.
And I'm glad that people are coming forward and we're seeing that it is such a ubiquitous problem that even for a progressive and groundbreaking company like Vice, it's still happening there. And we need to address this because it's a cultural problem. It's not, it has no ties to politics. It has no ties to what you're creating or what you're putting out in the world. It's just a cultural problem where we allow these powerful men to exert this sort of behavior on women, and now it's time to wrap that up.
Hey, Hannah, it happens to men too, so stop acting like women are the only ones that it happens to, okay?
Yes, the reckoning is happening.
Yeah.
The co-founders, Sarusha Alvi and Shane Smith, said in a company-wide email, "We have failed as a company to create a safe and inclusive workspace where everyone, especially women, can feel respected and thrive." What always resonates with me, Hannah, when I read this stuff is how and why do these people think they're able to do this? Like what?
Because they've been able to until now, until last month. Because they've been able to do it and get away with it over and over and over again. And
Right.
now finally people are like, oh wait, like that's not okay, and we're gonna call you out on your bullshit.
Very nice words, but happens to be wrong.
No, nope, not at all. There's sexual harassment laws in every state for a reason, so it is not a society thing. It is a bunch of creep bags thing, and your male feminist allies are just as bad.
But yeah, I agree with you. But what I mean is that the people, what are they missing in their lives that they feel that they have to like? It's like saying I am. Think Tank's this massive corporation. I am a CEO, and I think it's okay to
First
behave.
of all, I'm the CEO of Think Tank.
Okay,
Thank you
yes.
so
I'm sorry,
much.
Hannah.
Okay.
Hannah.
Nobody cares. 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 Nobody cares.
And there's no sexual harassment or sexual assault here because it's a woman. Thank you.
But like, what has happened in these people's lives that gives them the idea that they could behave in this manner every time?
Because we tell little boys from the very, from inception, essentially, that they are powerful and that they gotta be strong and that they have this machismo and all of these things. We put guns in their hands. We tell them that violence is cool. We tell them that women aren't worth shit, right? Women ain't shit. You know what I mean? We continue to tell them that this and this and this, and then they gain power. And of course they're gonna do this.
Wrong again, idiot.
I don't of course the men who perpetrate these actions have culpability.
I know I'll get eaten alive for saying this, but no, not all men. I'm sorry to tell you that. Not all men are gonna be titty ticklers. They're just the creeps. So stop classing everyone into the same boat. So, thank you. Thank you for including us all in there with your creepy friends who happen to be allies.
But the bigger problem is not the individual men. It is our society that tells young boys that this is the way to act towards women and towards others, and that this is the way that you can exert your power. So I think that's the biggest issue. It's a societal thing that we need to address.
Agreed.
And I don't think it's like, oh, somebody's missing something or they need to go to like sex addiction therapy or whatever it is. It's like, no, we need a societal shift in the way that we talk about women and the way that we talk about power and how you can exert your power.
Are you serious? Of course it's an individual problem. You cannot blame it on society when society has laws against it and say that it is not an individual problem. Because it is, Hannah. I'm sorry, but it is. And these creep balls need to be held accountable.
I think it's really weird also too when people, so like Kevin Spacey and all these people who have been accused want to go to rehabilitation or they want to go to therapy to fix the problem, which I never agree with, because what is that going to do?
Therapy. I'm with therapy so that they do not do it again. But so I think that works on like an individual level, but I don't think it works on a macro level.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
And I don't think that it should be used as a weapon or as a deterrent from the current problem of saying, well, you know what, I did this, I engaged in this activity, but I'm going to therapy to
it does not redeem you.
Yeah, there's no absolution when it comes to that.
Right.
Now, counseling does not absolve them, but it may help. I mean, look at substance abuse, you know, children of divorce, children of molestation and assault and other things, and domestic violence. Counseling can help, and it may not, you know, say save them and, you know, justify their previous actions, but it does potentially help them to not do it at a later time or continue their negative actions.
Helena Donahue worked at Vice, and she took to Twitter and said, Vice took a year of my life from me. I quit journalism. I quit writing. A world like this was not safe for me. I felt like I was underwater every day and no one could hear me scream, or they looked away. And as my ex-colleagues know, I quite literally screamed about it a lot. So this is someone who used to work at Vice that came forward, like many women at NBC that worked with Harvey Weinstein, that came forward and tried to tell their story repeatedly, but it fell on deaf ears or no action was taken whatsoever.
So no action? Why did all these women get settlements? And why did these writers in October and November get fired? If there was no action taken, they would not have given settlements, and they would not have fired the people who recently had been outed for doing this. So there's action. Like, I don't understand what you expect. Do you want them to, you know, just tar and feather the person and, you know, hang them up in the town square for everyone to see? Is that what you expect?
And this is something that we hear time and time again of these people, of these women specifically who enter these fields, especially in politics and in tech, who enter these fields and they can't. I mean, the harassment and the abuse is so overwhelming that they leave this industry, and that is so sad. This girl wanted to like write for her life and be in journalism, and she just, because of the sexual harassment that she was facing, she decided to switch industries.
Yeah,
I mean, they literally took her life away from her.
Same thing with
CJ!
She's still alive? Somebody check her pulse, please.
With Russell Simmons accusers, you know, they left music altogether. And again, we want to point out that this happens to both men and women. There are men that are coming forward as well with similar stories.
This happens to both men and women, but the prime perpetrators are all men. Sorry.
Don't worry.
Nope, wrong again.
Wow, it only took you 6 minutes to finally admit that it happens to men too. But then you backpedal by saying, oh, wait. But all the perpetrators are men. The perpetrators of it are men. No. I worked in the food industry for many years, managed few bars and everything. I've had my ass grabbed by patrons, by coworkers, male and female alike. So it's not a one-size-fits-all shoe, unfortunately. Every person is capable of it. It's just what that individual does. So if you want to class it down and say it's mostly men, you're being unfair. It's probably because men that have been sexually harassed by women don't come forward. All right, again, guys, thank you so much for sticking around and watching my video. Happy New Year's. If you like what I do here, hit that subscribe button. Also, like the video. Again, all the links are down below, my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as the brand new Patreon that I just started recently to help support in potentially getting an editor and other things. Thank you again, and have a great New Year, guys.